Welcome back to another episode of the Casey Campbell podcast. Casey Campbell with you, of course. Pleased to be joined by Logan Gardner, formerly of Brighton Rugby. How's it going?
Not bad. How are you?
I think this is the first time we've ever had a rugby player on here. Um, so, so kind of tell me, like, before we get into how the season went and all that, kind of tell me how you got into the sport.
Well, I mean, I had some friends that had played last year and years before, and they said that the team, they needed more players, players that were able to help the team. And um, I said, I'm not in another sport for spring, so I might as well join the team, see how it goes. If it's not fun, then it's only a year, so you know, whatever.
So, kind of talk about like, when did you start playing?
So I started playing this year, after the ski season. So
Okay.
probably late March, early April.
All right. So before we pick back up to rugby, how did ski go for you?
Skiing went, yeah, it went pretty good. First year thing as well. So it was kind of, a new thing for me. I mean, I've been skiing since I was 2, 3 years old. So it wasn't, it wasn't too hard to get into it, but learning the techniques and stuff like that was probably pretty difficult for sure.
A year from now, did you see yourself doing stuff like this?
No, no, I would have never seen myself playing a sport like rugby, or skiing, honestly, because skiing is a very expensive sport. That's something
Yeah.
that a lot of people don't really talk about. It's a very expensive sport. So I never really pictured myself being in that. And then with rugby, I never thought, I'd be playing a sport that was that crazy, if you will.
Yeah. Okay, so going into this, like like how did this year go and what position do you play?
So I play winger. So there's two wingers, just right and left, kind of like soccer. And I play right wing. And basically that's the end of the line with all the guys. And once you make, that final, move that pulls the guy that's defending me in, they throw the ball out to me and I wing it around the outside. Um, so yeah, that's the position I play. This year went honestly really well for Brighton. Best year we've had in a long time, supposedly. Um, we went, we only lost technically 3 games, which is a very, very good improvement from the last few years we've played. Um, and yeah, I mean, honestly, great. Like we had our best scoring against CC in a very long time. Um,
Yeah.
and especially for a lot of new players too. We had a lot of first year players. Um, we even had some freshmen that were starting on the team, so that was pretty awesome.
Okay, so I know obviously Brighton's had a rugby program for a while,
Yeah.
and it's been pretty successful over the years.
Yeah.
But now that you were doing well and only playing the sport for your first year, you're like, did you think to yourself like several times, like, why didn't I do this before?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I really honestly wish I would have played all 4 years because it's an awesome program. The coaches are great, the players are great, and honestly, just the general rugby atmosphere is awesome. Um, the teamwork that's involved is very great. Um, and honestly, the social dynamic between the teams after playing is awesome because, you're out there beating each other up for, 70 minutes, and then you get off the field and you have dinner with everybody. So it's really awesome experience, honestly.
Best moment from this year.
Probably beating Howell, honestly. Yeah, Howell was a big one. They seemed to come into the game thinking they were gonna beat us again for the however many years in a row, 2 or 3. And we kind of shut them out. So I thought that was pretty important for us.
So trying to find like a program to go when did it know that okay, you're playing rugby for the first time
Yeah.
in your life,
Mhm.
but when did you know that maybe I want to continue this when I go to college?
Well, honestly, I would say after my first game, after a game against Troy, I just I got off the field and I was like, wow, that was an absolute blast. Like I really like this sport and I would love to continue playing. The problem is I'm a senior now and there is no next year for rugby. So, I looked around, I said, which colleges have rugby programs? And I reached out to a few and, I found my home, if you will.
And of course, why don't you tell everyone where that home is?
Davenport University. Yeah, out in Grand
Okay,
Rapids.
so why Davenport?
Well, I mean, Davenport is they have a good program for what I want to do. Legal studies, they have a great program for that. Anything business college, Davenport's really, really great for that. As well as their rugby program is top notch. They pull kids from all over the world essentially to go to this program. And they're consistently in the top 10. Last year they placed top 5, nationally ranked. Um, and of course it's a D1 school, so that was also, a big factor in deciding where I wanted to go.
Okay, so I know it's been a while since, with graduation and all that fun stuff,
Yep.
but like, as it's set in, it's like, hey, I'm leaving in like a month to go
Yeah.
to college.
Yeah. It's definitely a big change, that's for sure. Staying at home for the last 18 years was, it's kind of just become normal, if you will.
Yeah,
Whereas now I'm moving off to college, it's like, it's gonna be completely different, no parents, nothing like that. So
right. Though in those 18 years, you've had a experience in self with that. I mean, obviously survived a pandemic and all that.
yeah,
But going from home to college, are you nervous?
I wouldn't say I'm nervous, as much as I would say, kind of confused, if you will. I'm not nervous to go to college because I don't see any issues with going there. I know that I'm capable of handling myself at college. So that's that. But um, I am confused as to like you can talk to your counselor as much as you really want. You can talk to people that have gone to school as much as you want or other colleges, but you're never really going to get that, true feeling. You never really know what's going to happen until you actually go and do it yourself.
Yeah. So, all right. Let's get to know you a little bit. How about that?
Yeah.
Okay. Who's your and this can be any sport, but who's your favorite athlete to watch like currently right now?
Honestly, I'd probably say John Popov. He, as far as the sports that I'm in,
Yeah.
that kid's the most dedicated person I've ever seen to any sport. He's always traveling everywhere, trying to get better, better himself as a person and as a ski racer. And I think it's really honestly important, and it pays off. It shows. He
Yeah.
plays first team all state. I've done that in a long time for Brighton ski. So.
Absolutely. Let's see. Um, what's on Logan's playlist?
As far as music,
Yeah, why not?
I like Alice in Chains a lot. Yeah, that's definitely my favorite band.
Okay.
I've been listening to them for, 3, 4 years now. So that's kind of just been, and it's always been on my, number one. So
All right. Favorite, what's your go-to place for food?
I like food a lot. So there's a lot of places that I would say are in my top 5. Honestly, I like Italian food a lot. So I'd probably say Antonio's, out in Canton.
Yeah,
But more than anything, probably it's a place out in California. San Clemente, it's called Sonny's Italian.
nice.
Awesome. It's really great.
Yeah. And finally, what's an interesting fact people may not know about you?
Well, I play 3 sports. That's a pretty interesting fact. People, don't really know that about me much.
Skiing, rugby, and what's the other one?
Tennis. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Yeah. Um, and you don't get a lot of three sport athletes picking those three sports. So that's
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, it's a very interesting combination.
it is. But
It's
it's good to see.
yeah,
All right. Well, Logan, thank you so much for the time as always, and we'll talk to you soon, okay?
no problem. Have a good one.